Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Daylight savings time part 2. Okay? If you haven't watched part 1, go and watch part 1. I was live streaming, but my phone battery, it was so cold when I was outside by that lake. My phone battery went from almost full to dying in like 6 minutes. That's why the video prior to this, daylight savings time, it got cut in the middle of the video. So I had to come back on. And family, I'm not going to keep you guys long at all. I just had to come back on because I didn't like the way that we were separated. We family around here. We don't just leave without saying goodbye, okay? And my phone died on that live stream when we was at the lake. So I had to come back and address you guys and you gals properly. Just gonna give it like 2 or 3 minutes, y'all, to see if anybody else comes up in here. If they don't, I guess it'll just be me and whoever that lone wolf is that's in here. And it's all good, Hebrews. All praises to the God of Israel. Today is daylight savings times, y'all. Daylight savings time. You ever wonder what is daylight savings time all about, family? You ever wonder why it was necessary for them to do these things that they do? And y'all know what kind of things they do. Like deceiving the whole world. Melissa Yisrael says, crazy. I randomly check my phone and here you are. Hey, that is crazy, Sister Melissa. That's crazy. And it's crazy because you was in here when I was live streaming out there by that lake and my phone just died just like that. I didn't realize just how cold it was outside, fam. But my phone went from literally being almost full to dying within like 6 minutes. Blessings to the Most High, says Shalom, family. I'm in here, laugh out loud. I couldn't get on the last one. It said it was private. Okay, well, all praises to the mighty one of Jacob that you up in here, sis. Good to see you as always. Good to see all of you. And look, I'm not going to keep you guys long at all. I really do mean that because of daylight saving time. Because the enemy of Israel and the enemy of the Most High God have taken it upon themselves to do something like Daniel 7 and 25, which we're going to read in a little bit. But daylight savings times is man's way of going against the Most High and striving against the Most High and his people, okay? Because they're going to tell you that the reason why they do this daylight savings time is because they want to help. They want to give people more daylight. Little news flash for everybody out there. You can't give what you don't possess. The sun and the moon and the stars belong to the Most High. Only he has the authority to give daylight. Okay? He created the light. He created the sun. And he controls the sun with his will. The sun and the moon does the Most High's will. When the Most High wants that sun to come up at a certain time, it does that. When the Most High wants the sun to go away at a certain time, it does that. And that's what determines what starts a day and what time it is. But you got Esau, okay? And I know some people out there don't believe that the Europeans or the so-called white man is Esau. I'm not one of those people. I say that the so-called white man is Esau. Hazel Woods says, hello, my Israelite family. Hello to you, Hazel Woods. Good to see you. I believe that Esau is the so-called white man, okay? But that's not a salvation issue, so we all don't have to agree on that. But I know one thing, Daniel 7 and 25, whoever the so-called white man is, that's who Daniel 7 and 25 is talking about, because that's who it is that took it upon himself to change times and laws. Or he would think to change times and laws by what? Creating an opposite way, a new way, a different way from the way that the Most High prescribes. Okay? And y'all see how that door just opened right there. Okay? It could have opened at any other time, right? But I take things like that, and before you Hebrews say, ooh, see, he's doing witchcraft. Get out of here, know-it-all. But there's a such thing called sound confirmation, okay? Sound confirmation is when somebody says something, and it doesn't matter who this person is that says this, but somebody says something that is 100% facts, that is 100% truth. Somebody makes a statement that cannot be denied, that cannot be debunked, and oftentimes you will hear something will take place in the physical world, whether that's a door slamming, a horn start honking, a cell phone start ringing, a dog might start barking, a door might open, okay? All kind of stuff, but that's for another time. I'm just telling you guys, this kind of stuff happens all the time. Whoever this so-called white man is, that's who Daniel 7 and 25 is talking about. Because it's the so-called white man, and I say so-called because he's not white. He's not white no more than I'm black. I'm not black. You've never seen a black man or a black woman because they don't exist. I'm brown, okay? Just like you've never seen a white man or a white woman because they don't exist. They're red, okay? That's why white people themselves will even tell you they're rednecks. I work with a lot of so-called white people who proudly scream from the mountaintop, I'm a redneck. And they say it with pride and honor, okay? I can't make this up. That's who Daniel 7 and 25 is talking about. He shall think to change times and laws. But you know what? Enough of me talking about it. Let's go read Daniel 7 and 25 real quick, family. Let's take a look. Here it is, family. Daniel 7 and 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of times. Family, do you see that? It says that this man, this person, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. Now, I want to ask you, did the so-called white man speak great words against the Most High? Don't lie. Be honest. Is there anybody out there who's willing to be honest and truthful? Did the so-called white man speak great words against the Most High? I think we all know the answer to that one, family. Of course he did. How did he do it? Well, for one, he tells you to put your faith in JC. And that is something that Europeans, Caucasians, so-called white people, they are pushing heavy, the love of JC. I can't make this up. And today is Sunday too. You could have turned to any broadcasting network today and see European Caucasians telling people about the love of Christ, the love of JC. Y'all know I'm not lying. This same nation, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, telling you to follow JC, telling you that there's a new way, telling people that now human sacrifice is the key to the kingdom of heaven. Accepting a human sacrifice. That's speaking great things against the Most High. Telling people that you can eat whatever you want. That is telling people that there's nothing wrong with shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. Okay? Now check this out, Hebrew. There's nothing wrong with shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, but there is something wrong with you consuming it. Those creatures have their place, and it's not to be consumed, at least not by you, not by God's children, who are the Israelites, because the Most High don't change. Belong to the Most High. Yeah, he did. They are the wicked sent by the Yahweh. Get punished us Hebrews. You are absolutely correct, sister. They are the wicked and they are doing their job, which is to be the whipping stick, the beating belt of the Hebrews, and they're doing it on the behalf of the Most High. But here's the catch, Hebrews. Once the Most High is totally finished whipping us, he's going to utterly dispose of the Edomites. Okay? Like I said, I know some of you brothers and sisters out there, you think that the so-called white man is Japheth. Okay? And you have a right to your opinion. But no, I do not believe that at all. I believe it's Esau. Genesis 25 and 25. And he came out red and hairy all over like a garment. Esau's blessing was the sword. Okay? He was going to live and die by his sword. Who on planet Earth lives and dies more by the sword than the so-called white man? Who has subdued the whole entire planet Earth more viciously than the so-called white man? Who has treated the children of Israel worse than this so-called white man? Y'all, I mean, I know some of y'all don't see it. Like I said, we don't all have to agree on this. That's okay, family. As long as we agree on the chief thing, that there's only the Most High and him alone. The Most High is the Savior. He's the only God. He's the only Redeemer. He's the only one who we need to be concerned with pleasing and appeasing. That's it, family. That's it. And because this so-called white man, let me read it again, y'all. Let me read it again. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. The saints are the Israelites. Y'all know that. How did the so-called white man, or whoever this man is, we know it's the white man, how did he wear out the saints of the Most High? He did it by putting you in slavery for 400 years. He did it by putting abortion clinics in all of your neighborhoods. He did it by putting liquor stores on every other corner in the so-called black community. He did it by telling you there's nothing wrong with you eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. He did it by raping, robbing, and pillaging the women and the men and children of Israel. That's how he wore out the saints. He told you that the Most High's laws are done away with. That's how he wore out the saints. Jim Crow laws. That's how he wore out the saints. Sicking dogs on men, women, and children. Y'all know in the 1950s and 60s they were sicking dogs on women and children, y'all. Melissa Yisrael says, and churches on every corner. Yes, that's another way. That's probably the primary way that they wore out the saints of the Most High, putting those abominable, idolatrous churches on every corner. And the so-called black community is worse than ever. But it's a church in every slum, in every ghetto, in every worn down community, in every place where this man wore you out. You've been worn out. You just a doormat at this point. You're like an old pair of shoes that's been through a fire, a house fire, an old pair of shoes that's been through the mud, that's been jogged like 5,000 miles on gravel, dirt roads. That's you, Israelites. You are totally wore out. And look at this. Look at this. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. You ain't never been more wore out than you are right now. Hebrews, you are completely wore out. Hazelwood says, Jeremiah 50 and 33, the Most High Almighty says, the people of Israel and Judah are oppressed All who captured them are guarding them closely and will not let them go. Exactly. These nations have refused to let us go, y'all. Blessing to the Most High says, chewed up by dogs. Exactly, sis. We've been thoroughly, and I do mean thoroughly devoured, y'all. We've been worn out. Like I said, we like those old pair of tennis shoes sitting over in the corner. They smell horrible. They look horrible. They got stains, dirt all over them. They've been jogged. Probably about 50,000 miles have been jogged in those shoes on a dirt gravel road. Those shoes are despicable. The cushioning on the inside of those shoes have completely been dissolved. Completely dissolved. Worn out, just like the Israelites. Worn out in slavery, with a liquor store on every corner, with a church on every corner, with an abortion clinic in every neighborhood, with a seafood restaurant in every neighborhood. You guys, we've been worn out. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. You guys, that's the part I'm focusing in on right there. And he shall think to change times and laws. Y'all, I know that you guys might not believe this, but you do not know what day it is right now, Hebrew. I know many of you think you do, and you would swear out that you actually know what day it is, but I'm telling you, you don't. These so-called white people, these Edomites, these Romans, these Greeks, this is who these people are, these Caucasians. They've been tinkering with time for a mighty long time, doing stuff like a leap year. Somebody out there, please explain to me what the purpose of a leap year is. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's right here as well. Daylight saving times and that leap year nonsense is all a part of Daniel 7 and 25, thinking to change times and laws. Not only does he speed up time an hour, and in daylight saving time in the wintertime, he rolls it back an hour. But he also got something where he does, I just had it on the tip of my tongue, Hebrews. I can't think of it right now. I lost it just that quick. But this whole daylight savings thing is wicked, family. He's attempting to play with time. You can't do that. Oh yeah, leap year. The purpose of a leap year, he literally skips years. So he doesn't just skip ahead an hour. He doesn't rewind back an hour. He will literally skip over a whole year. So you add that all together. Skipping over years here and there, taking years away here and there, adding them back in, taking away hours here and there. Family, you do not know what time it is. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what month it is. You do not know what year it is. You think you do. I'm telling you, you don't. You've been worn out, Hebrews. Sister Hazelwood says Zechariah 1 and 15. But I am very angry with the other nations that are now enjoying peace and security. I was only a little angry with my people, but the nations inflicted harm on them beyond my intention. Exactly. You Gentiles, you went too far, and you are going to pay for this one. You're going to die for this one. What do you think the penalty for wearing out the saints of the Most High is? I know somebody out there know the penalty for wearing out the saints of the Most High. The penalty for thinking to change times and laws. Skipping over whole entire years. And that's just telling you when they leap ahead a year. They ain't telling you whenever they roll it back and reverse the year. These people are diabolical. And the whole entire purpose of doing all of that is to get you thrown off and confuse you and throw you off of the timeline. They've been confusing us. It's a part of wearing us out. Sister Belong to the Most High says, time will reset after this upcoming Exodus. That's right. That's right. Things are going to go back to the way they are supposed to be. Family, for all the brothers and sisters out there who say that they're celebrating this day, celebrating that day, celebrating this feast, celebrating that feast. Family, you do not know for certain what day is what. There's no way you could know. Jeremiah chapter 17 tells you, thou, even thou, shall be discontinued from thine heritage. Hebrews, we got discontinued from our heritage because we were disobedient. We got disconnected for the disobedience, Hebrews. Even the brothers and sisters out there who say, hey, I know what day it is. I know what time it is. I know when the Sabbath is. I know when the feast days is. I go by the lunar. Guess what, Hebrew? I'm pretty sure that you were not born out of your mother's womb knowing the lunar cycles. And I'm sure you don't have 100% knowledge of the lunar cycles. Now, you can do your best because that's all any of us can do. But you cannot be for certain and for sure and tell me that you are really willing to bet your life that you're 100% correct on these days that you say are these particular days. When this man who you've been giving into his hands have been skipping ahead years, rolling years back, skipping ahead hours, rolling hours back. He's been doing this. You don't know how long he's been doing this. You know he's been doing it for a long time, and the whole purpose is to throw the timing off. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what month it is. Everybody out there call themselves keeping Passover. Passover says we're supposed to keep Passover in the month of Abib. When you go to research and find out what the month of Abib is, you look it up, you know what it's going to tell you? It's going to say Abib, either March or April. You know why it says either March or April? Because they don't know. These people have literally thrown off the timeline. That's another reason why the Most High got to come back to restore order in all things, including time. You don't know when the month of Abib is. When you go and look it up, it's going to tell you the month of Abib definition, either March or April. That's impossible. It's either or. It's either in March or it's either in April. It can't be March and April is the month of Abib. But Abib is when you're supposed to celebrate Passover. You don't know when Abib is. Even if you're going to say, I follow the lunar, I know. You were not born in the nation of Israel when you were born. You were born right in the land of your captivity, which means you've already been discontinued from your heritage. The people who taught you the lunar, they're not perfect. They're not experts. If the Most High wanted us to still be experts in all of this, he would have never discontinued us from our heritage. That's why he has to restore our heritage. He hasn't completely restored our heritage now. Nobody out there knows exactly what day it is, family. Let me see. Sister Hazelwood says, I didn't realize they had moved the time up today. Yes, Sister Hazelwood. Sister Hazelwood says, I leave that lunar stuff alone because I don't want to be in disobedience. All praises. Melissa Yisrael says, I was asking y'all to show me the true Sabbath when he yelled at me and said, what? You can't know my Sabbath when you are an idolater. Wow, that's how I learned about the idol. Wow. Hey, that's heavy right there, sis. Sister Hazelwood says, because the Most High told us we wouldn't know and forget. Jubilees 1:13 through 16. Facts, sis. Do y'all see that? And see, I'm glad that this Sister Hazelwood is bringing this out. Jubilees chapter 1, verse 13 and 16. Because guess what? Family, I told you guys before, many of us have not passed Hebrew 101, and that's why for a long time I have not read from any other books on this channel, because I know many of our people, they have not passed Hebrew 101, so that those books would have been a distraction to them. But I also told you guys at some point that we would begin to go deeper and read all the things that the Most High leads us to read, okay? And guess what? Clearly, evidently, that time has arrived. That time has arrived because you know what? The Most High brings truth out sometimes as needed. And right now, we are needing, and the Most High is providing, okay? Because check this out. And if I'm not mistaken, Sister Hazel Woods, I believe that you're also the sister, if I'm not mistaken. I made a video one day, I went live about how this was the 4th day in a row that the sun and the moon was out at the same time, and that was not right. And a sister came in there, and posted Enoch chapter 80, I think. I think that was you. I'm not sure, but I think that was you. And I'm definitely taking that as a sign from the Most High, because I know that a lot of these other books have truth in them. But I also know because of all of our people are the majority idolaters. Soon as our people start to read other books, because their mind have not passed Hebrew 101, they're going to take these things in these other books and they're going to take them and they're going to take it in the wrong way, and they're going to go deeper into idolatry. But you know what? Clearly, if that happens, the Most High is the one who leads people where they're at, or he's the one who brings them where they're out. We are in a time, nobody's going to stop the truth of the Most High. So now what we're going to begin to do, we're going to begin to bring out these so-called other books that other people will tell you, hey, you don't need that, don't read this, don't read that, okay? And you got to remember this. Who's the person that told you don't read other books? Where did that philosophy come from? You think you got all the books right now? I can assure you that you don't, okay? And before, because I already know how a lot of Hebrews think, oh no, I'm an Old Testament only. I'm an Old Testament only, Torah only, Tanakh only. That's what I'm going to keep, that's what I'm going to live by. But we have other books as well that were in the so-called Torah and Tanakh. You do realize that the heathens had possession of our Torah and our Tanakh and all of our other books and records. You do know that, right? You just only going to accept the ones that they gave back to you and the ones that they said it's okay to read? You better do your own research, okay? For instance, in the Tanakh, in the book of Joshua, Joshua speaks about the book of Jasher. Joshua speaks about the book of Jasher. How come people telling you not to read the book of Jasher? Joshua read it. And Joshua was an Old Testament only Hebrew. Joshua kept the Most High's laws, but Joshua knew everything in the book of Jasher. If it's good enough for Joshua, it's good enough for me. And somebody out there, I know you guys are going to say, oh no, that's not the real book of Jasher. How you know? How do you know? How do you know how any of these books that you read and believe, how do you know how those books were procured? Do you know? I know that you don't know. So don't come on here telling me that's not the real book of Jasher. How do you know? You know where you get that talking point from? The Roman Catholic Church. Because that's who took it out. And that's who told you we don't accept their book. Joshua accepted the book of Jasher. So guess what that means? You need to accept it too. This ain't no game, Hebrews. Y'all can think it's a game if you want to. Sister Hazelwood says those books give you more clarity. Yes. Hazelwood says yes. Hazelwood says yes, they do have all the records. Yes. Hazelwood says some essay Esdras is false. You say some say S.A. second Esdras is false. I got you. And see, here's the thing you have to know. The heathens, you guys, we have been worn out by these heathens. The heathens have had our records since God knows when. You've only been being plundered by the heathens for God knows how long. Another reason why they play with the time, roll time up and go time forward and roll it back. They want to keep you discombobulated with the time so that you don't fully realize when they did what they did to you. These people keep playing. And look, that's where the main talking point comes from. Oh, don't read this, don't read that. The Roman Catholic Church is the one who enforced that hard. You can only read this, you can only read that. And now we got the majority of Hebrews out there say the same thing. Don't read those other books. Don't read this, don't read that. But when you read the Tanakh, Joshua, somebody who was a warrior for the Most High, you know Joshua gonna be in the kingdom. Joshua read the book of Jasher. I want to say the book of Samuel talks about either the book of Jasher or Jubilees, one of them. Either way, it's books in the Tanakh that refer to other books. But somebody out there going to try to tell me I shouldn't read it. It was good for the prophet Samuel to read it. It was good for a servant of the Lord, Joshua, to read it. But now when you get to me, you're going to tell me that I shouldn't read that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the Most High. I'm going to follow the Torah. I'm going to follow the Tanakh. If it was good enough for the guys in the Tanakh, it's good enough for me. Point blank, family. Natalia says, greeting, family. Greetings to you. But I want you guys to really think about that. This daylight savings time. For everybody out there who call themselves celebrating Passover, this feast, that feast, Sabbath, and all that, you do not know for certain what day it is. And don't tell me that Saturday is the seventh day, because the same man who thought to change times and laws tells you it is. You're going to put your trust in a man who does leap years, a man who literally skips over an entire year. And he skips over hours. He rewinds hours back, skips over years, skip years back. He does all of these things, changing the times around, and then he's going to throw Saturday in front of you and say, hey, that's day number 7. And you're going to believe him? Shame on you, Hebrew, for thinking that it's just that simple. Shame on you. I know we were in blindness for a long time, but now we're supposed to be waking up and snapping out of this and realizing what's going on. Melissa Yisrael says, facts. Hazelwood says, trust not your enemy. 100. Exactly. So, family, you guys got to understand this. You know what? I'm going to read this verse one more time, fam. Come with me to Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. Great words like what? The laws are done away with. God is now in human form, and God is going to sacrifice himself. A human sacrifice. You can eat whatever you want now. Shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. There's no difference between a Jew and a Greek. Free man and a bondman. No difference between anything. Those are the great words against the Most High that this man spoke. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. How did he wear you out? Putting you in slavery, abortion clinics in all your neighborhood, liquor stores in all your neighborhood, churches on all your corners, free guns in a lot of the neighborhoods. Believe it or not, this so-called white man went to a lot of these inner cities and he passed out free guns. He would put guns in crates and put them in the back of alleys in the hood and let gangsters on the streets find them. We ain't making this up, family. Hazelwood says, we are all the same. It's all about love. Yep. Belong to the Most High. Says schools. Yep. All of that, family. It is time for us to break away from this, family. And we're doing it. All praises to the Most High. We are doing it. These last wicked days, we're turning back to the Most High. When I was a little kid, I used to always wonder, what's with this daylight savings thing? How come time goes up and then go back? How is that possible? I didn't go too deep into it as a kid, but I did used to scratch my little brown head and wonder, how is time going up and then it's going back? Why does time go up and go back? I could never get a solid, real answer. Whole time, this answer's been right here in the Tanakh this whole time, family. Whole time. And see, you got to understand what this so-called white man did. He's been on our tails for thousands of years, you guys. Oppressing us for the longest time. Wearing us out. Whether it's the Greeks, the Romans, the Americans. It's the same devil. Oppressing us. Destroying us. Wearing us out. Seizing our records. For a long time, they seized our records. On more than one occasion, you better believe. They would call it spoils of war, seizing all of our records, okay? And you better believe they didn't give us back all our records. You got to be kidding me. If you think that this so-called white man is going to give you back all the records he stole, you're crazy. You better believe he's holding back a portion. And you guys don't have to believe this, but I'm sure that there are books out there we've never even heard of that were intended to be read by us. But since we got conquered, they stole all our stuff. They held these things back. And these books, if they were to come out now, we would say, oh, this is wicked. Whole time you don't know. These are books that were supposed to be read by you, but your enemy captured you, captured all of your books, all your everything, and then hid everything from you. Sister Hazelwood says, I wondered the same. I asked my mom. She said she didn't know why they changed the times. Ain't that funny? Now we know, Sister Hazelwoods. A lot of us have been through the same things as youngsters growing up. We had questions nobody can answer. But now in these end days, we are getting the answer. And the answers come from the Torah and the Tanakh. This is amazing, family. This is amazing, family. Family, anybody in here on this live, if you haven't hit the like button so far, hit it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, family. HN says the Most High has personally picked his chosen. Isaiah 43 and 10, my servant whom I've chosen, that you may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me, no God was formed, nor shall there be any after me. That's Most High only stuff right there. All praises. Sister Melissa Yisrael says, didn't allow us to read. Exactly. HN says they weren't chosen to understand because of their wickedness or whatever reason, y'all chose to leave them out. That's right. And you know what? That's what we got to understand, y'all. For whatever reason, the Most High has his reasons. We don't know. Just like he has his reasons and timing for waking us up. The Most High didn't have to wake us up. And there was a time when everybody watching this video, there was a time when we were not awoke. And for whatever his reason was, at that time, the Most High, he wasn't dealing with us like that. But when the time came, he decided to wake us up. So we got to throw our hands up and give all praises to the mighty one of Jacob for that. Because he didn't have to do that, family. But we see times are changing. These are serious times, family. Anybody who doesn't want to cling to the Most High and him alone, anybody who doesn't want to cling to the Torah and Tanakh, you're going to be in for the time of your life. And I mean that in a bad way. This man thought to change times and laws. Hebrews, I know a lot of Hebrews are not going to agree with this. That's okay. I'm just trying to reach out to the Hebrews who are willing to listen. Not to me, who are willing to listen to Daniel 7 and 25. This man thinks to change times and laws. If this man actually skips over entire years, he literally leaps over a whole entire year. And then he leaps over a whole hour, and then he goes back a whole hour. Doing that, all that twisting and turning is made to what? Throw off the times, to mix it all up. You do not know what day it is. You do not know what month it is. People who call themselves celebrating Passover. The commandment says in the month of Abib to celebrate Passover. When you do your research and you go look up the month of Abib, it's going to tell you the month of Abib is either in March or in April, which we know is impossible. It's either in March or it's in April. It's not either March or April. You know why they have to say it like that, though? Because they don't even know what time it is themselves. There's not a creature on planet Earth today who knows exactly what year, what month, and what day it is. You don't know. Sister Melissa Yisrael says, drove to Pittsburgh this weekend. Every other billboard was about the only way to God is through JC. That's crazy. That's crazy. And when I see stuff like that now, sis, that really pisses me off. I get pissed. I got this sports radio station sometimes I listen to when I'm out, when I'm driving on the way to work, and they got this daggone commercial that comes on the sports radio channel. That comes on and starts saying, he gets us. He understands us. The most important person in human history, JC. And then they say, not a sermon, just a tip or something like that, trying to direct everybody to JC. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Every single way you look is people ushering you towards the idol. But soon, that's going to come to an end. You guys, times are about to be upon this nation and upon this world where you can almost set your clock. People are going to call out to JC, and at that time, it's going to be certain death will be brought to them. You're going to realize just how wicked and evil and sinister the name of JC is. How evil and sinister the spirit of JC is. Yahweh Christ. It ain't nothing good. The Most High never vouched for that guy. And no matter how many scriptures we bring out to debunk it, People just don't want to hear it. Even when we show you right now out of the Tanakh, this man would think to change times and laws. He leaps over entire years. I'm asking everybody out there watching this video, do you know how long he's been doing this? You know the longer you do something, the more you change it. You do not know what day it is. You don't know what month it is. For all we know, Hebrews, the seventh day could be Monday. It could be Wednesday. You don't know. That's the whole purpose of this man changing times. Having daylight savings times, having leap years is about throwing off the timelines. This man will do whatever he can do to keep God's people from keeping his commandments. And because we've been wicked in the past, we got discontinued from our heritage. That's why we got kicked out of the land, family. This is our last captivity right here, though. No more captivity after this. You're just going to get put to death. Once again, to everybody out there that call themselves celebrating Passover, you're commanded to celebrate Passover in the month of Abib. Not either or. The month of Abib. Do you know when the month of Abib is? Do you know when the month of Abib is? And can you show us biblically how to know when the month of Abib is? Because when you study the month of Abib, when you go to look it up, it tells you it's either in March or April. We know that can't be true. Okay? It's either or, not both. Belong to the Most High says a lot of people are already dead, walking dead. Facts, sis. You telling facts. But I wanted to make this video to get you guys to really think about the kind of world that we live in. Today is a prime example. Daylight savings time. So when you think about daylight savings time from now on, you need to think about Esau changing the days and times to throw you off so that you don't know what day it is. You don't know what time it is. You don't know when the special high holy days are. You don't know how long ago or how short ago it was that he did the things that he did to you, because he totally changes and plays with the times. For all you know, these times that they're telling you guys that JC was in 2,000 years ago, for all you know, it could be 1,000 years ago. For all you know, it could be 800 years ago. I'm not telling you to follow JC because JC is a false prophet. I'm merely pointing out to you the way that they play with time, skipping over years, skipping over hours, rewinding them back, rewinding them forward. They tell you that JC was on the earth at a certain time. They say 2,000 years ago. And I'm telling you, because of the way this man thinks to change times and laws, that could have been 1,000 years ago. It could have been 800 years ago. The point is, you don't know what time it is. That's the whole point, because you've been worn out. But don't worry, because the Ancient of Days is coming, and that's when he's going to set the time straight. That's when he's going to set everything straight. That's when he's going to give the kingdom into your hands, and you're going to reign over your enemies with a rod of iron. You're going to put the people who took you captive, you're going to make them your captives and your slaves. It's going to be brutal. Yeah, chains around their necks, chains around their arms and feet. You're going to imprison them. You're going to sell them. You're going to whip them and beat them. You're going to do them just like they did you. Hazelwood says the only thing the Most High told me was to obey his commandments when I came into the truth, and that's what I do. All praises, Hazelwoods. Natea says all of those camps celebrate Passover at different times. Exactly. Some in March and others in April. Straight confusion. Exactly. Do y'all see that, family? Now, something got to be wrong here, because Passover is on one day. But like Sister Natea said, some of these camps celebrate Passover in March. Some of them do it in April. Why are they doing this? Because everybody got different time calculations. Because Esau, or the Caucasian, whatever you want to call him, thought to change times and laws. He screwed everybody's timing up, so everybody's timing it off. Even you brothers and sisters out there who think you live by the lunar, you think you're an expert at the lunar, I'm telling you, you're not an expert. If you were such an expert, you would have been born in the land of Israel. The whole nation would have been born in the land of Israel, because it would have been people that were still keeping the Most High's commandments, and we would have never got disbanded as a nation. So you're not an expert. You don't know for sure. You're doing what you believe in your heart is right. And I'm definitely not going to knock any Hebrew who call themselves keeping the commandments, because that's what we should be striving to do. All I'm here to point out the fact, I'm just here to point out the fact that you don't know what month it is. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what year it is. So, and definitely don't tell me that Saturday is the seventh day because the Caucasians told you that. You're going to tell me that Saturday is the seventh day because Esau said so. The so-called white man, whatever you want to call him, the same man who Daniel 7:25 says would think to change times and laws. So now in these modern days, he says Saturday is the seventh day, and you believe him? Shame on you, Hebrew. But look, we've been asleep for a long time. So now's the time to come out of sleep. Stop believing your enemies. Okay? You don't know what day it is. You don't know what month it is. You don't know what time it is. You can try, but you don't know. Do your best to keep the Most High's commandments. Come out of idolatry. Worship the Most High and Him alone. And do your due diligence. Do your research. Keep the commandments, and wisdom will be imparted to you. I forgot where it's at, somewhere in Proverbs. Is it 29:8 or 28:9? Somewhere in there. He who turneth away his ear from hearing the commandments, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So you think about that, Hebrews. He who turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. If you don't want to keep the Torah, if you don't want to keep the Most High's laws, stop praying, because you're going to make it worse for yourself. If you don't want to keep the Most High's laws, then just don't keep them. But don't pray either. Because if you don't want to keep the Most High's laws, if you don't want to learn his laws, even your prayers shall be an abomination. And if you're an abomination, you will be brutally killed by Yahweh, by the Lord of hosts. And with that, I'm going to say, Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Hebrews, I love you guys. If any of you brothers and sisters out there would like to email me about whatever, we can chop it up, talk about this, talk about that, whatever. My email is 12tribes1121@gmail.com. I repeat, my email is the number 12 tribes, the number 1121@gmail.com. Once this live uploads, I will leave my email in the video description, and I'll leave it in the comment section. Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Turn to the Most High and Him alone, family. Hazelwood says, Shalom, brother. Nice lesson. All praises to the Most High. Sister Hazelwoods, shalom to you, and shalom to everybody on this live, and shalom to everybody who will watch on the playback. HN says, praises to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Praise, 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 praise. That's right, HN. All praises to the mighty one of Jacob. Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Hebrews, we all we got out here. I love each and every one of y'all. Like this video, share this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Okay? Sister Blessings to the Most High says, shalom, family. Shalom to you. Natea says, thank you for coming on. No problem, Sister Natea. Thank you for coming through. Thank all of you guys for coming through. You guys know I feed off of y'all. We feed off of each other. We are a family. We need each other now more than ever. And on a day like today, which is daylight savings time, I thought it was very appropriate to come on here and discuss exactly what daylight savings time is all about. Daniel 7 and 25 is also what these leap years are all about. Tav X Hebrews, Shalom, peace.